the buzz right now about the Ola Electric IPO, its pricing, valuations, and what's happening in the EV space. Now, we're going to unpack some of those questions that everyone's asking with the top management of the country. We have Bhavish Aggarwal with us here in Mumbai. Ahead of the listing, and of course Harish Abhichandani, the CFO. Great to speak with both of you, and thank you for the time you've given us on the NDTV network. Now, I think the first thing everyone's asking you, Bhavish, is the pricing. Is it consciously at a discount to the capital you raised in December 2023? Or was it also a recognition of how price sensitive the Indian retail investor is?
Tamanna, firstly, thank you so much for coming and sitting down with us for this interview. And we've been trying to make this happen, but finally, in the IPO context, at least we're getting a start. You started off on a very relevant question. So just to give a little bit of context for your viewers, now we have been in this IPO process for about a year now. We filed our DRHP in December, and then we got approval in June, and then today was our price band announcement. And our story is actually an Indian manufacturing future story, right? The Ola Electric story is about the future of automotive. It's about the future of energy. It's about the future of Indian tech. And we are bringing this company to markets early in its life cycle because this company is only a 4- or 5-year-old company. It's probably one of the more early IPO stories, and yet at reasonable scale. FY24 revenues for us was 5,300 crores, growing 90% over FY23. So we've seen very significant revenue growth, and we are still bringing it early into the market because we want the Indian investor, the retail Indian investor, the institutional Indian investor to be part of this journey with us. We want their support, we want their partnership, we want them to make money in this journey. And it's not a journey for 1 or 2 or 3 years. It's a journey for a decade or more, because EV is a theme here to stay. And it's just beginning in India.
It's interesting you say you want the Indian investor to make money, and I'm not talking about any one specific company, but there have been instances in the past where the retail investor felt that hum par bill chipak gaya, that the valuations were high. I'm being candid. Valuations were high. We bought in. Then your early investors exited after the stock prices have run up, and we've got stuck with a dud.
हमारी philosophy बहुत अलग है. हम इसीलिए आपने जो प्राइस बोला, हमने प्राइस को बहुत अट्रैक्टिव और अग्रेसिव रखा है, क्योंकि इन्वेस्टर, हम चाहते हैं कि इन्वेस्टर को इसमें वैल्यू बने. एंड शॉर्ट टर्म भी, बट लॉन्ग टर्म भी, क्योंकि ये बहुत लॉन्ग टर्म स्टोरी है. एक इंडिया मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, मेक इन इंडिया स्टोरी है. सो इसीलिए हम चाह रहे हैं कि प्राइस अग्रेसिव रखें. एंड माय ओन फोकस इज ऑन द लॉन्ग टर्म हियर, and we want to make sure we create long-term value for the whole street.
Having said that, and I'll take this to Harish, it is at a discount to say what you raised in December. So is this altruistic thought primarily behind it, or is it also a reality check of what the market conditions are?
No, I think the valuation, what we raised last year was last year. I think the way to look at valuation is that we have consciously priced our IPO very aggressively, ensuring that we have a huge value creation along with our stakeholders, along with our investors in this journey. And as Bhavish mentioned, it's a decadal journey. It's not here and now. So we have ensured that this is a participative approach from an investor community perspective. So that's how we have looked at pricing.
Okay. Let's talk about the other thing. I don't know if I should call you a startup right now, because you've been around so far. But all right, broadly, tech, startup space. The big question facing companies in this space is path to profitability. There was a time when it was eyes shut, doesn't matter at all. That has changed. So like you said, 5,300 odd crores in revenues, number of scooters sold, vehicles sold has also gone up, but losses still ranging around 1,200 crores odd. What is the path to profitability looking like, and is that an important tick box to, actually come to?
I think profitable business model is the most important in any startup's journey. And jab tak wo nahi hoga, you will not be a sustainable story in itself. And our journey in Ola Electric has actually been focused on building a sustainable business model. If you see the last 2 years again, FY23, we had revenues of 2,700 crores and an EBITDA of negative 43%. FY24, revenue of 5,300 crores and an EBITDA in just 1 year of negative 19%. So you can see just in a year how our profitability has improved. Now I can't give future numbers, but you can, you can just see how this journey goes. And even more important is manufacturing is a scale-linked business. As our volumes are increasing, as our scale is increasing, the cost structure doesn't increase linearly with it. So FY24, the volumes we had already in Q1 of this year, we have, and these are all public data in the Vahan portal in the government, the volumes have gone up. So as volumes keep improving, there will be a period in the near future where the EBITDA will be positive because there's strong operating leverage.
Within a year, within 12 months? You can't tell me.
I can't tell
what
you.
is the tipping point? What is the tipping point where you achieve that scale?
See, the tipping point is linked to volume, etc. And again, I can't give a number on the tipping point. But thematically, if I want to add another point, right? One is the scale-linked benefit on profitability. Second is the vertical integration we are doing in our business. So a core strategy for us has been to do vertical integration of manufacturing and technology. Because the EV journey is not just about assembling products by buying from suppliers. There are a lot of new technology, a lot of new components which go into making an EV. The motor, the electronics, the software, the battery pack, the cell. All of this we are making in-house. And the most important part of this is the cell, which is for us coming online next year. And we have built India's first gigafactory. We have started trial production there. We are the largest recipient of government PLI for lithium manufacturing. 20 gigawatt hour has been allocated to us. And next year we begin our own cell in our own products. And the cell makes up about 1/3 of the overall vehicle cost.
Okay.
Yeah, so as we localize it into India, make it within our company, that will further bring down our cost. So one is scale, second is vertical integration of the manufacturing.
Has the Gigafactory timeline gotten pushed forward? Because I think in the public domain, it was supposed to start earlier this year. Just give us a sense of that.
No, we've been very consistent that it will be early next calendar year. So calendar year, so sometime early next year, we will start the Gigafactory. We've already begun the trial production. So that's already, the factory is complete and your colleagues have been there and seen it.
Yeah.
So the trial production is on, but cell is a complex component, so we are testing it thoroughly. And cells have to be tested over months to make sure the aging of the cell, the charging cycles, etc., all stabilize well. So we're in that process right now. Our cell has already been certified by the BIS standards board. So that is further important milestone in the journey of our cell and our Gigafactory. And the cell is a very important foundation for electric ecosystem in India. In the ICE era, the engine was the heart of the vehicle. In the EV era, the cell is the heart of the vehicle. And the cell defines your cost, it defines your charging speed, it defines every key performance parameter of the vehicle. And hence building the technology in India is an important foundation for multiple product categories in the future.
Once you have this online, is that when you start thinking about the electric car? This whole will they, won't they has been going on.
No, we've been very speculation तो हम नहीं करते हैं, speculation आप लोग करते हैं.
मैंने नहीं कहा ये चल रही है कि इलेक्ट्रिक कार आप ला रहे हैं, फिर एक रिपोर्ट आई थी कि लाने वाले थे, आप नहीं ला रहे हैं, तो उसका स्टेटस क्या है? Is this a key building block of any kind of scale up?
The cell is a key building block for any product. And the cell is actually common across 2-wheelers, 3-wheelers, 4-wheelers, any kind of automotive product. So for us, our focus is on the electric ecosystem and the core building blocks, which is the cell. Now, in addition to the scooter portfolio we have right now, the next step, logical step for us is the motorbikes.
And that's 15th August.
Last 15th August, we showcased our bikes to the public. And this 15th August, you'll see some very exciting announcements in that zone. So we will we already have a very good portfolio of scooters. We'll be moving to a portfolio of motorbikes as a next step. And then the future will, who knows what products we build.
So I myself cannot ride a scooter or a bike, but I did a dipstick in office and I was asking people about it. And one refrain that I got, a question that I got, and let me place it in front of you, that EV for a scooter, समझ में आता है. EV for a motorbike, does it make sense? People travel longer distances. It's not really been tried before at scale. Is it a little tricky?
EV for scooter, before we did it at scale, was not tried at scale. 3 years ago, when we launched our EV scooter, लोग कह रहे थे कि अरे इंडिया में मार्केट नहीं है, कौन खरीदेगा, right? We sometimes, in India, really underestimate the Indian consumer. The Indian consumer wants the best and wants the future. The Indian consumer is the most aspirational consumer in the world. And from a technology perspective, I think globally there is no debate that the future of automotive is EV. It's a question of when and who will do it. So just like scooters, same in the motorbikes. The motorbikes many people buy for the thrill of speed, acceleration, the sporty, etc. EV is much better. at all of that. EV में जो आपको torque मिलता है, the kind of speed you get is much better. So for a young person buying a motorbike, an EV will be a better proposition.
And in terms of long distances,
Range will be, you will see when we launch our products, it will have very good range.
So let me come to a basics, since you spoke about EV, and that's something I wanted to bring up. The whole charging infrastructure question for the EV space overall has improved, but not really changed to that extent. In the context of Ola, in the context of your company, how do you see yourself contributing to that charging ecosystem? And really, because that needs to be that paradigm shift, right?
Yes and no. Again, for your viewers, I want to highlight a small nuance. For a century, we've been used to taking our vehicle somewhere and putting fuel into it, right? Hence, हमें लगता है कि we need charging stations. But especially for two-wheelers and even for cars, actually, you can charge them from the grid anywhere, right? आप अपने घर में basement में charge कर सकते हो, अपने parking lot में, at a mall, at a hospital, at your working place.
But I have to wait till my vehicle gets charged.
Again, you feel that you might have to charge it from 0 to 100, which is not the case. The beauty is like you charge your phone in the night, you come home, you just plug in your car or your two-wheeler and it charges. So that's the general, 90+% of charging globally in EVs happens at home or at work, not in charging stations. That's a bit of a baggage from the past that we all carry as consumers, and we will evolve over time. But there is a need for a skeleton charging network, less so in two-wheelers, more so in four-wheelers, because two-wheelers can charge from your home socket in 5 hours. It's like a mobile phone. But still, we've set up a fairly large charging network already. We have more than 1,000 charging points. We call it a hyper-charging network across India. And our charging network is designed for those use cases, let's say long-distance rides. So Bangalore, Mysore, Bombay, Pune, in the middle you'll have a charging station of ours. Or high street, sometimes you're out and you want to, you're shopping and you want to just plug in your vehicle there. So our charging network is designed for those use cases where you might need that extra charge.
And so where are you going forward from it? Are you doing replaceable batteries? How is Ola looking at contributing to that charging ecosystem?
Replaceable batteries are not going to be as relevant and mainstream as we've seen. There was a lot of talk 3 years ago that replaceable batteries will be the only way EVs scale. It's not turned out like that. Because what's happened is, the replaceable battery was relevant when the battery cost was very high. Now in 10 years, the battery cost has come down 1/10. By 9/10, so 1/10 ho gayi ye cost, and now the battery is not as costly as it was earlier. So you don't need to replace, and charging technology is improving. And as newer generation cells are coming out, you can charge 10 to 80% in like 10 minutes or 15 minutes, which is good. And the cost of running a replaceable battery network of swapping, etc., is also high. And in the end, the consumer is only paying that cost. So it might be relevant for some niche use cases, and we might bring out some niche vehicles for commercial use, etc. Yeah, but I don't think it becomes a mass adoption.
How are you feeling about FAME and FAME free? Subsidies have been cut, localization demand has gone up. How are you feeling about it?
Actually, I feel very good about it. I think the government has, firstly, at a macro level, I think the Indian government has been the most supportive to the EV industry in the world. And I really genuinely want to acknowledge that publicly, that the Indian government has been very visionary. They've set in multiple levels of incentivization and encouragement. There's the FAME subsidy, which is a consumer subsidy.
But they slashed it. It got slashed.
Yes, and I'll come to that. So there's the FAME subsidy. There are the PLI incentives, which are production-linked incentives. And we're the only company which has access to both PLIs for the automotive ecosystem. One is EV manufacturing and one is lithium cell manufacturing. And in both, we are actually at the forefront in investments and in getting those schemes to success. And on top of this, there are many state-level schemes, etc. Now, FAME, the government has been clear for the last 2 years that they're tapering it off. So 2 years ago, it was 60,000 rupees a vehicle. Now it's 10,000 rupees a vehicle. And the good thing is, despite this tapering off, the industry has continued to grow. So not just us, but all participants have actually rejigged their cost structures, optimized the costs, and made sure they are able to continue to grow production with lower FAME. So that's a very good sign that FAME is going away over time, but the industry is responding well to it. And the incentive structure is moving from a customer subsidy to generate demand to a production subsidy to get the best and best scale manufacturing ecosystem in India.
So you feel it's something you can work with?
Absolutely. In fact, not just work, but thrive in it. Yeah.
Wondering, what did you have for breakfast? Oats? Oats by any chance?
Yeah, I think that joke has backfired badly for them. Yeah, so, but if I can say
should I contextualize for viewers, because we're assuming this is feeling like a bit of an inside joke. So this is a comment from a large OEM talking about how champions eat oats for breakfast, and at that time oats was an acronym for companies including OLA, IPO, and others. I saw a response that you had that they eat oats for breakfast. One day they will eat their words. I saw that on your timeline. So what's going on there?
No, I think that if you look at our market share today, who is the champion? I think the world is clear who the champion is. And the champion has ice in his drink every night.
No, but on a serious note, I mean, the government is also now pushing to encourage hybrids.
Yeah.
There are companies bringing out CNG models. Yeah. And then the common refrain from, I would say, the largest OEM in the country is that it's not all about EV. Don't get hung up on EV. So there's a bit of a debate right now. Just want to understand that, do you think that there is space for more, or why are you so focused only on EV? Because you're EV pure play.
Yes, we believe the future of automotive is EV. And the future of green energy is in automotive is EV. There are different technologies, and most of those technologies I personally would classify as transition technologies, be it hybrid, be it CNG, etc., are all relevant, moving away from pure gasoline into a pure EV era. And these kind of major technology shifts in automotive happen once a century. A century ago, the ICE engine, the internal combustion engine, came to the scene. Before that, it was the steam engine with coal. We moved from coal steam engine in locomotives, etc., to ICE engines in automotive, to the future, which is purely EV. I think there is globally largely no debate about this. People are debating, how long will the transition take, and hence do you need some transitionary technologies, etc. Now, we believe the EV transition will be faster than most people think. The core driving factor of EV technology transition is basically the cost of the cell. And that's reduced to 10% in 10 years. And we see a further reduction because, like all technologies, every 2-3 years, you reduce cost and improve performance. So similarly, lithium cells are on that same trajectory and the same learning curve of cost reduction. We don't believe we need to invest in transitionary technologies. We want to create this future and be the leading company building the technologies and manufacturing capability of this EV future. The others might feel कि उनको EV आता नहीं है तो वो फिर बीच वाला करेंगे.
So a four-wheeler electric vehicle is on the horizon at some point?
We are focused on building the foundations of EV, and the foundation of EV is the cell.
It's a yes or no question, honestly. Either it's on the horizon or it's
life
not.
Is not a yes or no.
So it's a possibility. It's something in the pipeline, or you would think of it something.
Like I said, EV is a multi-decadal journey. We are just at the starting point of India's EV journey and India's new energy journey. And we are building our capabilities. We started with the scooter as a product portfolio, moving on to bikes. We built the core technology, the software, the electronics, the motor, and now the cell. So as these technologies mature for us, as we build strong strength and supply chains, future we will build all kinds of products.
Okay. All kind of products would
include... We will consider all kind of products.
Okay, so a three-wheeler is anyway something that you're looking at, so then you might as well...
Again, I can't neither confirm nor deny, but...
Harish, let me ask
Harish, you need to stop me.
You're a good track.
Let me ask you about the IPO. So, I mean, we know the use of funds is there in your prospectus, etc. Out of that, what I notice is about, I think 1,600 crores goes in R&D, so a sizable amount. Anything you can elaborate on that?
Now, you see, one of our core focus area has been technology. We have looked at EV as a tech-first approach because EV is just not about an assembly system, etc. So, technology is a core to anything we build, whether it is on the cell, whether it's on the two-wheeler, etc. So, hence our investment in this technology has been there. It will continue to be there. 1,600 crores has been earmarked for R&D. R&D is all about building technology for the future. So we will continue to invest in R&D on that.
So what is going to be the focus of that R&D? The cell?
Cell is an important focus. There are multiple technologies that go into making a successful electric vehicle and an ecosystem. You need software, you need electronics, you need the cell, you need material sciences, alloys, aluminium, etc., magnesium, all these different kinds of material sciences, you need manufacturing automation and robotics technologies. So all these technologies is where our R&D effort, energy, time, talent is going. And this creates a very strong differentiator for us because we are not a technology taker. You know, for a long time in India, we have had a paradigm of technology takers.
Yeah.
Okay, the world will tell us what technology to use. And hence, we've always been saddled with technology risk of technology change. But when you're a technology maker, you make your own destiny using technology.
So we can have a pure play made in India product,
Yes.
not an import and add a sticker kind of a...
And we also not just make in India, but we define the technology in India. We make the tech in India.
All right. Thank you. I have so much more to ask you, but I know you're short on time. Thank you so much, Harish and Bhavish, for your time today. And we'll wait and see what happens with this IPO.
Thank you so much, Tamanna. Wonderful speaking with you.
Thank you.